Well, good morning, everybody. Today's the day we start up old Patches and see if she still runs. Get some fresh gas flowing through the lines and get the treated fuel up through the carburetor and all that. It's probably been a little over a year sitting. So I'll have to go through and find some wiring out of my box of wires. I need a fuel pump harness. Need to hook up the solenoid on the starter. Need to hook up the starter. Gotta hook up the ignition. Okay, that looks like a fuel pump. Go ahead and snip these off. I'm going to leave enough length just in case I want to reuse this somewhere. So I'll leave, I don't know, 6-8 inches wire off the back. Alright, there's our fuel pump and turn signal wiring. Okay, there's our fuel pump wiring. This is really weird. I keep finding the bodies of mutilated stink bugs. These are old and all moldy, so it looks kind of extra funky. But you can see the wing there, the body parts, the legs. And there were some hibernating on top of the engine I was making a special note of because I was going to go get them with the torch. When summertime came around, I wasn't going to worry about it right now. Or I might have if I thought about it, but I wasn't really. I just made a mental note of it. And same thing in there, same looking kind of deal. Like the bug exploded. Like something found them. And I don't know if that's. I wonder if that's the bees doing that. I found the bees hibernating. They kind of cling to walls or just wherever. And I've seen them traveling when the weather warms up or the sun comes out. So maybe they're wandering around and finding food, because I have seen the hornets. I haven't seen the wasps do it, but the hornets will eat the stink bugs. There's a full abdomen right there, or a thorax, whatever you call that, the back end of the bug. So yeah, I have seen the hornets after I smash them. I haven't seen the hornets go after them while they're still alive. I think they do a pretty good job of flying off when they get bothered, these stink bugs. But yeah, I'll smash them and the hornets will go eat them. Filmed it a couple times. So I wonder if it's them. I mean, something has pretty thoroughly gone around and got some stink bugs. That is so crazy to me. Could it have been a mouse? Do mice eat insects? It's so weird. Anywhere there's a body part, it's all fuzzy, moldy from the moisture trapped under here. Things are looking okay. Alright, so we got the pigtail for the fuel pump. Black's obviously ground or negative. Then we got purple and gray for either the the level sensor or the fuel pump positive. Seal is binding up a little bit. Let's put a little oil on that. There we go. I can't figure out where this came from. It might have been just a bolt through a hole over here. Actually, it might have been a good spot. I'll have to grind off some paint. Might just, for now, just clamp it onto the frame right here. Take a little wire brush to it so we get a good connection. And there is some of the bug carcasses from on top of the engine that I was talking about. It's very strange, kind of creepy. Something just coming along and brutalizing those stink bugs. I mean, that's really awesome, actually. Whatever did that. It's my first year seeing that happen. Yeah, they're all over the place. Like, that's so crazy. The stink bugs will come and hibernate in little corners and nooks, stay warm for the winter. And I was keeping my eye on them. I was going to come in here and torch them, but something else came and got them. It's really strange. Okay, we gotta get the positive connection on the ignition. And positive connection from the starter motor solenoid to activate it, as well as the big positive connection for the battery. Chassis ground. Not going to hook up the alternator, that's alright, we'll just put the battery on a charger. Everything's staying dry. Got a little bit of rust, but so much less than there would have been whenever this thing got unplugged or power was out. All, you know, it just, the roof got covered in dew. The roof got covered in moisture. Some bad spots. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Going through the rest of the wiring here. I need the wires for my starter motor. Well, I got the battery cable. I need a small with the ring connector on one end, so I can trigger the solenoid. I got my headlight wiring here. I'm gonna go ahead and go through all this stuff and separate it from the wire loom. That'll give me a chance to store it a little better. I'll take up less space and give me a chance to inspect all the wiring. There's one spot on the fuel pump wiring that actually has a really good pinch on it and should probably be spliced. So yeah, let's just go ahead and go through, pull all this stuff apart, get all this plastic, this interesting wire loom pieces here. It's like a way to cut open the wire loom, let wires come out, and then put like a little shield around it, kind of hold it together. It's interesting. If that doesn't fall apart, I'll keep that handy. It's just kind of neat little deal there. Yeah, so you could take two pieces of loom, run the wire out, and then hold them together with that. Pretty cool. Headlights. I got this firewall plug separated. Got the, I think that's a fuel pump relay. Got a solenoid up here that comes from the starter key. Key turns on the solenoid, which turns on the bigger solenoid. So you don't burn things up. I got my fuel pump pressure switch for the fuel pump for sensor. This goes onto the brake line. Goes onto a brake line manifold. Get all this electrical tape off of here. This will also help me track where wires are going, and also make it easy to remove things I don't need, like these old EGR connections. That goes to my HEI distributor, so I'll need that. I need to put power to my ignition. Alright, this is actually a lot of fun. I got all my sensor wires separated out. Sensor wires plus the alternator energizer wire, which went to a switched, had a connection to a switched power source, and that ran over and spliced in with these yellow wires, so that this yellow wire is a switched positive, which goes to the that module. Okay, there's the wire I'm looking for. Big fat 10 gauge for activating the starter motor solenoid, coming down from this solenoid, which is activated by the ignition key or a smaller relay switch. Wouldn't be this one though, because this, okay, so when you would turn the key, it would energize this, send power from the battery down to the starter motor solenoid to start it. It would also send power over to this relay to disconnect some accessories like headlights while starting. Yeah, I've been thinking about it, and I'm not seeing any mouse poops around these Stinkbug bodies. And hornets don't make such a mess. I have it on video of a hornet eating a stinkbug, and they somehow know exactly where the meat is in those bugs, and they just go right for their back end and dig it out and fly off. It's pretty. I'll put a link below for that video, or maybe I'll clip it in. But I don't think the hornets make a crazy mess like that. That is really tripping me out. Like, what could have done that? That's the first year ever seeing that either. I just can't imagine what that could be. It's really cool. Help me take out these dang stink bugs. Yeah, not a single mouse poop. And there should be like almost no mice around here right now. I've been trapping them, gluing them, poisoning them. So that is very strange. Something crazy going on around here. Also, the hornets aren't very active during winter, so yeah, this is freaking weird. I would imagine it's the mice more than anything. I think if a mouse going to eat a stink bug, I don't think it's gonna pick the legs and wings off. It's just gonna eat it. Okay, we got the positive wire hooked up to the coil here. The HEI distributor running down just alongside here temporarily. Found another one of these bug carcasses on top of the air filter. I didn't notice. tearing it apart. Yeah, there's like the wings. It's like it exploded. It's so strange. Alright, we got the fuel pump grounded temporarily. Positive wire is running along the side here. Up to the front. Got the battery. Chassis ground. Positive cable going to the starter motor. Solenoid battery connection. Got the fuel pump positive. Got the HEI distributor positive. Or the ignition positive. Going to use this solenoid to activate the starter motor solenoid so I don't fry my little push button there. Got a switch. Let's see if we can hear the fuel pump kick on. A little spark. Can't hear it kicking on though. Okay, now it's working. I had to go wiggle the ground. I just heard a little pressure build up in there too, so. Alright, fuel pump's working. Got the switch connected. Got the positive wire going to the solenoid connected. Other side of the solenoid goes to the starter motor solenoid. So we'll tie the fuel pump and the ignition together on the switch. So when the switch is on, the fuel pump is on, and the ignition is on. Okay, ground. This goes to push button. And this will go to positive side of the switch as well, so that won't turn over unless the switch is on. Okay, we just need to put the choke on, give it a little pump. Let's go check the belts, make sure everything's clear. No e-brake, no park, no driveline connected, but the wheels are blocked up. We do have a wire laying over on the pulley here. Let's get that out of the way. Tarp is probably on the exhaust. Yep. Okay, built to clear. Everything pretty clear. Yeah, let's just untarp one side here, or whatever is touching the exhaust. Okay, tarp's not touching anywhere on the pipe. The muffler is still touching, but that probably doesn't get too hot. I won't run it too long anyways because it's going to get really hot in here. Really fast. So, we'll run it. Yeah, and there's no fans, so we'll just run it long enough to warm up the engine. Exhaust tip is clear of obstruction. That might be kind of hot. Okay, got a little charger on there just to try and keep the battery somewhat charged while it's going. Okay, no choke, no gas. Let's just see if it'll turn over. On the wrong connection, okay. Okay, just gotta move that over to the other terminal. Okay, that should work now. Let's put the ground back on. Let's give it a test. Alright, it's cranking. Ignition fuel pump. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this choke. Choke. Should have made it so I could have the starter button in here, because that's alright. Let's turn the choke down. She's starting. Ooh. I can smell that old gas burning off. Okay, yeah. Just want to go in on the choke a little bit here. About halfway. Just gonna need a little bit more gas. Let's make sure that high idle is engaged. Too much choke. Kind of all the way up. Really need to get the starter button up inside it. There's Patches. it's gonna warm in here quick. I knew I'd forget something. Forgot I took out the heater cooler. Plastic burning, so let's go ahead and shut this off. Probably got a piece of tarp burning somewhere. Alright you guys, Patches is up and running. It sounds just as good as ever. If not a little sluggish to start after sitting so long. A little harder to start as well when the starter key is outside the vehicle. And I'm trying to pump the gas and manipulate the choke. But that does feel good hearing her run again. We'll give her a longer run too when I get the tarp. When I get everything untarped. Just wanted to run her at least long enough to get some fresh fuel up through the line and in the carburetor. Got some fuel treatment stuff in there to get the tarp off, but we got rain tomorrow and the next day. Not quite into the dry weather yet, so stay tuned. Lots coming up on this thing.